dealer that's you know, and then he'd go up and get permission. And if you ever reneged on paying them any money or anything, it was the police that showed up at your door, knocking your door down, collecting money. They were the muscle for them. You know, and then who can you complain to? It's, you know, this is how Chicago runs, and I'm sure it runs this way today. You know, if you want a good job, you got to go to an alderman and make a bribe, a donation. If you want to do anything, I mean, basically, I think they're trying to turn America into a version of Chicago, which is nothing but a Jewish-run mob. That's the best way I can explain
Chicago is controlled by the Vatican.
That's a big step, but anyway.
Well, I think the Vatican is a Zionist. I think they're all just in the one club. I mean, I don't think there's any really difference between them. You know, they just, you know, divide and conquer, or I don't know what their game is, but it seems like they're all in bed together to me. You got the Romans, you know, you got the Italian mob, which is the Roman. Then you have the Jewish mob, which is a Zionist. The Russian mob, the Yakuza. I think they're all the same.
The Russian mob is Zionist. The Russian mob is an operation of the Mossad, I'd say.
I think they're all Zionists.
Jewish. Yeah, I mean, it's basically I don't understand something about vigilantes. So, like, basically, you're saying you're anti-Zionist, but you don't like.
I'm apolitical.
Apolitical, but like it seems sometimes you give rather anti-Zionist statements, but you always denounce like all the rest of us for our irrational hatred of Jews. Yes. How do you reconcile this, man?
You can't blame like an entire race or ethnicity of people. That's just stupid.
They're not a race; they're a religion. I mean, what the fuck?
You can't blame like. I'm anti-Vatican, but that doesn't mean I hate all Catholics.
Yeah, Vatican's really. Hey! I just forgot about something. You're Irish. Are you Catholic too?
Yes, I am. That's correct. I was actually going to pretend I was Jewish.
No, guess what? Hey, do you know who you're speaking to? I'm Joe Blow, and like I went to Jesuit school. Not to be a Jesuit, but Jesuit like.
What is Jesuit? I don't really have an interest in religion, but
it's just one of the orders. Like they got the Jesuit Dominicans, Capuchin monks. You know, it's just basically a religious order. But idiots like Mammy and like Julius, they think like the Jesuits are like behind everything, and like they always talk about like Vatican supremacy and idiots.
The Masons or something like that, or behind the scenes operators like.
Yeah, they say like the
Jesuits are like the lawyers of the church.
Oh, okay, they're the smart guys, like. So,
they're like the muscle.
Am I right there, Water?
So I want you to know, Dark Matter, you got like if you're Catholic, you have somebody who's on your side. I'm very partial to like y'all people.
Okay, cool. But I haven't gone to church in years, like, because like it's full of pedophiles, and I mean, I'm not going to go in there and confess to any of these fuckers because they'll probably use the information against you, like.
Ooh, okay.
Seriously.
Okay, on the topic of Nibiru. Okay, let me reiterate for everybody who's like may not understand the particular theory and the significance. I mean, you may have heard like conspiracy theorists always talk about like Nibiru this, Nibiru that. What the fuck is up with it? Okay, Nibiru is basically like this extra-dimensional planet, which was popularized by Zacharias Sitchin. And the reason why it's kind of like famous because they say like a lot of ancient civilization as it like relates to like Sumerians and like human development is if you really look into it, it's related to like Nibiru and Tiamat. And like soon, like there's going to be like this comet that's going to come and like destroy the Earth, the planet X, which somehow is also related to Nibiru. Okay, out of all y'all, who's the most knowledgeable about Nibiru? Is it you, Mammy, or like what do you call it, Vigilius?
I don't know anything about that.
No, I'm just saying.
Then it's interesting.
That's Mammy. Mammy, what's your opinion about Nibiru?
That answers the question.
Okay. It's like, man, it's like Mammy, stop playing with yourself.
Oh, hello.
Okay, finally stop. Mammy.
I was muted out. I was going to say, I think it's all just a bunch of a big distraction. They took a lot of facts, added a whole lot of fiction, and made a good fairy tale. And Sitchin was a total shill. He got caught lying, and then he just carried his story right to his grave. And people like Desari and all of them, I think they're all full of shit because they push his garbage, and he's been disproved in my eyes.
I know, it's like, but even though he's been like me in your eyes, Mammy, wouldn't you not agree? Like a lot of people, the reason they very recent times, I'm saying after 9/11, the reason they started getting into conspiracies is because they hear about this 2012 Nibiru nonsense. I mean, isn't it a kind of shitty way to like start, your conspiracy research by starting it with disinformation?
Exactly. I don't know why anybody falls for this bullshit.
That's the whole point of disinformation, is to like, you look into something, you find out it's not true, and then you think it's all bullshit or it's all that stupid, you know?
Exactly. I mean, I'm saying this from personal experience. Like a lot of people, like I usually don't. It's only very, very recently, like say since last year, I revealed it was many years ago since I revealed my conspiracy. So I have been doing it recently, but when I didn't, people would come up to me, like regular people, and they would like talk about Nibiru, even though I never fucking said anything about it. And I'm like, it broke my fucking heart, dude. I'm like, shit. This is what they learn about conspiracies, man? This bullshit? I mean, like, it really fucking depressed me because they're missing out on all the other stuff they could be talking about. I mean, it's really, man. This is like a total. And the worst part is wait. It seems like Dark Matter, you kind of follow David Icke. Is David Icke still pushing? Is David Icke still pushing Nibiru?
Did you say I follow David Icke?
I thought you talked about it. You don't follow David?
He is in cuckoo land, to be honest. I would never even know. But anyway, go on, ask me the question you're going to ask me anyway.
No, that was a question. What do you call it? Does David Icke still push Nibiru to the best of your knowledge?
No, I couldn't care what he pushes. He can push whatever he wants. I would never believe anything he says, and I would recommend that no one believe what he says, because the stuff he talks about is just complete hearsay. You can't prove it, you can't disprove it. It's just, he'll have you in limbo in about 10 minutes if you believe what he says. Like,
I'll tell you when I knew it wasn't even the reptilian shit that made me not believe him. The one story he said on that one video about like he meeting a CIA agent, and like the guy like opened his shirt and showed him like this fucking some shit that like patch on his skin, like if he didn't get like recharged, he'd be dead in 24 hours. That's how they controlled him. I knew that. I said that guy's a motherfucker right there, because the way he's told the story, I knew he was fucking lying, dude.
I listened to your show there on YouTube, and I kind of went away and researched the names I didn't hear before, like David Icke, and I got this interview years ago he did with Terry Wogan, who is he's a talk show host. He doesn't talk about conspiracy theories or anything. This is ages ago, and this David Icke character came on onto an English television show in a fucking blue tracksuit, and he was talking about shit, and everyone was laughing at him. But the thing is, he kept selling the bullshit until people believed him, and then more people saw who believed him, and then his little fucking cult just took off. Then, and it's actually sad to see people just lied to so much, and he kept throwing shit, and people just they couldn't. he's just a fraud, really, and he's just preying on people when they're in a delusional state of mind because they're not thinking straight for some reason, and they believe his shit. It's sad, really.
I don't know why people believe in the reptilian thing, but David Icke does have a lot of his bloodline stuff. That's pretty good, but
yeah, he may incorporate some facts, but the majority of what he says is total fantasy, and he incorporates the facts for you to believe in him, and he kind of convinces your logical side, and then he talks about emotional. He just talks about crap. Then he's just a manipulator. He's some people have a high IQ, and some people have what's it called, EQ, emotional intelligence, kind of, or EI or something. He has a very high of that, and it's very hard to find out how smart a person is on this side. He can lie. He can just lie he'd be a great salesman, so to speak. Like, you know, he wouldn't know any facts, but he'd be a great salesman if you can understand what I mean. Like, and he just uses that to his advantage. Like.
Man, I just say he's a fucking Englishman, okay, man? Everybody knows.
No, but some people are from England and they're fairly decent, so I don't want to fall into that trap of.
Man, what the fuck is up with you Irish people? It's like it's become fashionable for like y'all not to say bad stuff about English people anymore.
The thing is,
we thought you hated the English.
No, I want to break that illusion out straight away. Okay, I've been to England. I lived there for 2 years, and I tell you one thing: I can't afford to go up because I'm out of work, like with the Great Depression and all that shit. But when I went in there, I had the greatest time of my life there, and I met some English people. I met people from all over the world. But I will say this: like, it's all the same really where you go. People are the same anywhere you go. Like, people are good, people are bad. But at the end of the day, like, you know, if you go hating the English for something they done 800 years ago or whatever, then, you know, you're just gonna, it'll never end for you. Like, if you look at the IRA and all these fellas now, like, I don't want to go too much into this now because I don't want to be criticised over it. But if you look into what they've done and what they've achieved in the amount of time when they started to present day, it hasn't been a lot. Like, they've just, you know, they're just breeding hatred in people, and it just doesn't solve anything. Like, it's I don't know.
Excuse me, I have to give a little personal message. Ognir. Okay, like, I'm not Irish. I don't know a lot about Irish politics, so, like, I know it's your own fault that you're in here to, like, yell at him. So, I gotta warn you, my buddy Ognir, he comes from a Republican family.
See what I mean? No, see, I told my mode about something, and here we go. Like,
if he heard you say, he would rip your head off.
He can do what he wants, like, but I still stick to my opinion, like, and that's that. Like, I have no interest.
A lot of those IRA people were British agents too.
That's what I was putting. That's another point. That's why I didn't want to make that in case, you know, people say, "Oh, you don't know that." Like, but that's true. Like, I've heard stories like that, alright, and it is true. So you don't know what's going on there behind the scenes. Everything's been influenced by
mirrors, man.
That's it, smoke and mirrors the whole time, just to keep you guessing, and then you're like fucking
it's like Elohim City, you know.
You know, I always thought if everyone just around the world just said, fuck it, we're not interested in 9/11, they all wrote letters to, like, people who have lost relatives in 9/11 and said, look, I'm sorry, I have to give up, I have to surrender this because I'm being driven demented. Like, what would happen? I'd say within a week there'd be another big, huge, massive event. And the government, if they were on the internet and they realised that people just stopped talking about 9/11, I guarantee you within a few weeks there'd be another big, huge event, and they just put on another bit of the old conspiracy paint, gloss it up, and away we go again, like.
Hey, Mammy, I got a question for you, dude.
Well, let me weigh in. I've been waiting my turn. I wanted to say,
open your fucking mouth, then.
David Icke, the first thing that really opened my eyes, I seen a video a long time ago called Turning the Tides. And, man, it really opened my eyes with the problem, reaction, solution, and all that. And I went crazy, went looking all over the net, you know, for material, but I never listened to the whole tape. And then I went back and listened to the whole thing through, and then when he got onto them, the lizards and all that, I'm like, holy shit, what the hell's going on with this guy, you know? But after that, I think it's all psyops. I mean, if there's something that gets out that they don't want you to know, they just get some moron to come in there and add a whole lot of fiction to it and make a total fool of himself. And then it makes, you know, all the material look bad. And then they divide us, you know. Oh, well, if you think any of that material